make ends meet? Because this has been going on for 10 years. Your parents don't have any social security number. So how did they make ends meet just by doing that? Just odd jobs here and there?
Not all jobs. They actually had jobs that actually did keep people that were willing to work. And so they used to always build. My mom only had 2 jobs coming here in the United States in the whole 20 years that I've been here. She's a housekeeper.
Okay.
The first job that she had.
And they didn't ask her for papers when she had.
No, it was just it was a lady that spoke Spanish before in English, and then after her it was my mom. So my mom came in as an immigrant. You know, you like kind of try to do your best at a job. They loved her and they kept her for.
She's a hard worker.
Yeah. So for all these time, my mom, I mean, her first job was working at a factory packing those. You know, I don't know if you ever had those, but it's those tortillas or tostadas, like, you know, the hard ones, and they put cinnamon and sugar. She used to work in a factory packing those.
Okay.
Packing them.
And you said that
for a really long time. And then right after that job, that's when she got the housekeeping job.
And you said that you guys didn't get to go to McDonald's and that.
Oh no, yeah, that's one of the things that I never used to know. I mean, we always used to see McDonald's, but did we know what the food was like? No, I never knew until the age of maybe 18. That's when, you know, no, maybe a little bit like 15.
They couldn't afford.
But back in they couldn't afford anything. They just went grocery shopping, $150 for groceries a week, and that's all. Like, everything in my house had to be made. Like, you cannot just say, "Oh, mom, I want chicken nuggets," and go to the freezer and go. No, it was actual food, chicken. Like, you know, you had to cook your meals.
So you had no McDonald's, no like movie theater.
Oh, our shopping center, like I was telling Francis, for us to be able to go shopping and stuff like that, would go to Goodwill's.
Okay.
Like we would just, like, my parents. That was my dream, like going to a Goodwill, because you know, you go in there, you get a couple of shirts, you know, shorts and toys, and you know, so like.
So it was exciting. It was exciting to you and happy to you for you to go into like Goodwill and get some clothes and new items.
Right. New to me, and everything was secondhand. And so that's why we literally lived for, like, you know, like they had.
But you were grateful though for going to Goodwill.
Oh yeah, 100%. I didn't know anything else, so that was my thing, you know.
You didn't know anything else, right?
So Goodwill was my place. So
did you feel different though in school?
Bullied, probably I was, but the pants, yeah, I'm gonna say the pants.
But you were older too, I think. Did you know the difference?
So the difference between
you and other kids growing up?
No, I was very humble. I was never, ever did I come to school ever trying to show off something.
Not you, other kids. Could you tell like
it wasn't as bad as now. It wasn't as bad as now.
Oh, okay.
Now it's way different.
Right,
like
now.
Me going back to high school, if I think about it, if they said you have the opportunity to go to a high school, go back into your high school years, I'd be like, no, I'm just, you know, I'm
done. Yeah, I don't think I was ever bullied, thankfully. I think they tried to bully me, like, one time in high school.
But she was the bully, so.
It didn't work out for her. I wasn't. I feel like I tried to be nice. If I ever bullied you, I'm so sorry. I tried to be nice to everybody.
This one is way too comfortable, too confident. She just comes natural.
I feel like it's. I learned in middle school I have to stand up for myself because nobody's gonna stand up for you, and it's either, you know, eat or be eaten, which sounds horrible, but that's unfortunately how it goes.
I had a way different. Like when I was brought up from middle school and high school, I was like always alone by myself. Like, I don't know what it was. I think
I was very popular, but I also tried to be nice to everybody else. I don't think I was actually ever mean to anybody.
Yeah.
I try not to be mean. There's no reason to be mean.
There's no reason.
For what?
Yeah, you see other people and
they're just nasty. Like, they just hate themselves. Like, why? But it's crazy. So you didn't know what a McDonald's was, so you were happy to go to Goodwill. So you had a good life.
I did. I never. Yep.
You had friends? Did you have lots of friends growing up?
No.
Now you do.
No.
You do, girl. You do.
No, back in, like, when I was 16, 17, 18, maybe 19, that age, I had, like, what I thought it was friends. But
of course, but they weren't. They're a fucking mess now. But anyways.
Everyone that I know, is somewhere doing their thing. So.
But whatever. You grow, you live and you grow. You have to evolve. You have to be your best self.
Yeah. So the age of 21, that's when the President Barack Obama came into the house. And so he pushed and pushed and pushed for the Dreamers to get a Dream Act or something like that, and he never really made anything. But he did do DACA, the the fraction of childhood arrival. He did that while he was in his term.
So what does DACA mean?
So what DACA means is deferred action of childhood arrival, meaning he set a law saying that kids that were brought into the United States before a certain time, which was, I believe, you have to be a certain age right now, brought in before the 2000s or around the 2000s, to be able to get this. It's a work permit, which says it says work permit, and it's 2 years. Like, you get to renew it every 2 years, and you have to get approved to get another 2 years.
So basically what that means is the fact that, you don't have to basically live in hiding anymore. You are able to a certain extent, you can drive, you can have a regular job, you can apply for jobs. You
can absolutely be a criminal whatsoever.
You cannot.
So I have one thing in my record, which is I went to jail accidentally, according to me. The cop just didn't like me, and he just put me in the back of the car, and that was that. I mean, I ended up in jail, but it taught me like a lot. Like, right now, it's like I don't even want to get near any, like, my partner over here can tell you guys, but I'm very terrified of getting in a conflict.
Right.
Being in a place, getting no conflict.
Being in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Because then that's it.
It's going to be a loss for you. So basically, DACA means all the kids that were basically human trafficked, the same way Isel was, into the country.
Not human trafficked necessarily, but yeah.
Yes, you were human trafficked.
Well, yeah, but it wasn't human trafficked as people see it, because I think a lot of people see it different. Human trafficking as a bad thing.
Right. People see human trafficking as a certain thing, but human trafficking is so wide. And with that being said, yeah, so she was human trafficked. So any minors that were human trafficked into the country, being minors, they have the ability to apply for DACA, giving them a worker's permit so they can actually work here.
With the Social Security and the Social Security card, sorry, I can go. What the Social Security says, it says something that it has red letters on it. So basically, every time you go apply for a loan or apply for this, apply for that, like I recently bought my car, they couldn't approve me in other credits places because my Social Security has a red lettering.
It's limited. It's limited. So what does that mean?
Valid only with work permit. That's what it means.
So basically, what does that mean? That she can work here. She can get credit cards, which that's one thing America's like, here you go, girl. Here's a bunch of credit cards.
Yeah.
She can't get credit cards. She can't have a credit. She cannot buy a house. Unfortunately, she can't go to school and use FAFSA.
Well, now yes.
Now yes, it changed. When did this happen?
It just happened recently.
Oh really? Oh, congratulations! So you can go to school now and you can buy a house.
No, you can buy a house. The school's gonna be the same.
You still have to pay out of pocket. You can go to school. You just have to pay out of pocket for the school. Mm-hmm. So basically now, which is great, because can you imagine living here your whole entire life and not being able to purchase a home?
Yep. That'll be sad.
Now, are you able to marry somebody and get papers that way?
So, okay, this is what I want people to understand. Like, this is my message to everybody here in this platform right now. So, a lot of people think, I don't know, I don't see any videos about people talking about this, like in this depth. So, it's not just about getting married with someone. It's not just about, oh, I'm gonna get married with my partner, boom, down, like where's my visa? It's nothing like that. So when you get into a marriage, there's gotta be a whole process. There's process, and it takes years. It takes a long time. It's not just about saying, here, I'm gonna go apply for it, boom, we're married. No, it's not that easy. It's not that simple. There's people out there that want to get your money. Like people who just want to follow whatever the applications that already are online. They just want to charge you thousands of dollars to make it go with time, so that way the money that you gotta pay them is more. So the more you stay with the lawyer, the more they're gonna charge you. It's gonna take them to get you your papers and everything. So
what do you mean? I'm confused.
So basically, what it is I'll apply for it, right? Mm-hmm. But I can't apply for it because I don't know anything about it. According to
a lawyer.
So you go through the lawyer charges you for a certain amount of time,
mm-hmm.
and
while you're in the process,
right? So it's like $500 every 2-3 hours while she's filing paper,
right.
So you have to go through all the process. You have to go through background checks, physicals and all that, for them to be able to put an application in, so that way they can look at your case to see what they can do for you,
by marriage.
By marriage, yeah.
So what are you trying to say? That it's not easy?
It's not easy. No.
Oh yeah,
so
of course.
It's not just. So my parents were purchasing a home a couple years ago.
So wait a minute, hold on, because I don't want to go completely. So we talked about that. We talked about high school. We talked about your parents, how they supported you guys, how you guys didn't have extra money to go to McDonald's. You guys didn't have extra money to go to the movie theater. You guys would shop at Goodwill. Perfect. Thankfully, thanks to President Obama, you were able to actually work and not have to work under the table, only get paid cash. So now, what does that mean? That means that you're able to pay taxes, which I think is great. People like to sit here and complain about illegal immigrants and them not paying taxes.
And that's one thing about my parents. They've always, even without papers, they always file taxes.
And how does that work? How do you not have any paperwork and still pay taxes?
Oh, you get a number that's called ITIN number, ETIN number, and that's how you file. And you get it for your kids, and that's how you file.
So basically, yeah, pretty much that's what it is. Technically, you're legally can't work with that number. However, that number does help you file your taxes. And this way, technically, you still can't work with this number. This number, you can't provide it to an employer, but it still helps you with your taxes. You want to do your taxes and you say you got $500 every month from cleaning houses. You go to a tax collector office or a tax whatever office and you tell them, listen, I got paid $500 every month for 12 months, and then you pay based on the taxes.
Yeah.
You don't get child credit.
No.
So you don't get any money back, but you are paying this country's taxes back to them.
Which is a
good substantial amount of money. Even if it's $500, that's still taxes that you have to pay back on $500.
So my parents always kept that, that's something that even me at my age of 18, I filed my taxes and everything, now at 18, I still didn't have anything to file with, it said the ITIN number.
Right.
So that process did too take a long time. Okay. And again, because of my background record, that's what it is. That's what I'm trying to say right now.
So the background record that you have, the criminal arrest, what is it, a misdemeanor?
It's a misdemeanor, so you cannot have
what is it exactly?
It was.
Give us background detail, because I don't want people thinking you robbed a liquor store or anything, Like,
so
what
happened? My cousin was driving, and at that time, at the age, I think I was 22, 23, I was very young.
Okay.
So my cousin had gotten pulled over.
Okay.
And my cousin didn't have any papers. However, I did at that time. I had the DACA. So I thought maybe me going to help him will get him out of the situation,
Which doesn't.
No, so I came over to him and he was in the car. The cop was obviously in his car. He was at the entrance of our house at that time. So I went and tried to talk to my cousin. Then the cop is like, "Oh, back up!" And I was like, "I'm just trying to talk to him to see what's going on." And the cop's like, "If you don't back up in 1, 2," and then he just slapped me against the car, the cop car, and he pulled my what do you call them? Handcuffs on me, and he was trying to make it seem like I was resisting arrest, but I wasn't. So I told him, "Listen, I'm not resisting. You can arrest me." So they went ahead and took me.
Rookie mistake.
So now the charge is resisting without violence.
So can you ever get that expunged from your record?
Well, I sort of kind of did, because I went and I told them I didn't do it, and they told me, okay, well, you need to at least do some hours, community hours, and we get it away. But it still comes up in my record that I have it. I mean, I have to get it removed somehow. Maybe there's a way.
There's a lawyer. Hey, let us know.
And what this work permit does is, you have to renew it every 2 years, and every 2 years for the last 5 years, I've been renewing. 1 year before Trump got out of House, he stopped the whole immigration thing. And
so what did you guys do when that happened? He just stopped it?
It was in between my 1 year, so he only renewed it for 1 more year. And then after that,
scary.
Yeah, so after that, we didn't know what we were gonna say, because that's how it was. But then when the new president came in the House, he extended it again, so we got a letter from the immigration saying,
"I don't want you deported. You're my best friend."
No, it said you can stay for an extra year under the same, because if not, I would have to renew. But they said you don't have to renew. It's
so every 2 years you have to renew. Do they have an actual plan in like?
Well, yeah, now yes, with the new president, yes. So
what
now
are they thinking about?
They're fixing the whole immigration system, like the entire, not just from Mexico, but the entire. So right now there's a lot of going on. So you kind of have to go and read about it. Unfortunately, I'm not very to the T with this, but there's a lot of going on. I know for sure, like, I hear a lot of this.
A lot of stuff going on.
Yeah, within
so, being Mexican, being in a Spanish household, which I would say is your family pretty, like, religious, Catholic?
They're not 100% religious. They're Catholic, but they're not, like, super, like, duper. Like, my family in Mexico, they are, but not in the sense they're... Like, they're gonna disown you if you don't, continue. No.
Right. If you don't go to church every Sunday.
So, they're very, I honestly didn't put it out there.
So wait a minute, hold on. So obviously, I don't know if you guys can tell me that you're a whole ass lesbian, a whole lesbian, which nothing wrong with that, But how was that? How old were you when you knew you were different? When you knew you felt different?
I think it was the whole my entire time. I just right now I can't recall like there's
a specific moment.
Yeah, because it wasn't just my brain again wasn't focused into like my sexuality. It was more focused into real life. I remember I had to come here and do this.
You had to deal with
my sexuality. It wasn't like it was just there. I started dating girls at the age of 17. That's when I brought it.
So you had to deal with other things being
rather than my sexuality.
At 10 years old, you had to deal with other things. Just
bigger pictures than just
bigger issues. Yeah, bigger issues than just think about if I like boys or girls or who am I gonna date. No, you were figuring out like how. Were you gonna be okay, or were you gonna be abducted? By these random people.
Right.
I understand. Okay.
So can't even recall the time that I said, "Oh, I'm."
What was the first time that you? So you never recalled I'm a lesbian.
I just started I had little boyfriends here and there, but it just.
You did. What was it? Wow.
15, 16.
15, 16. You had little boyfriends.
Little boyfriends, but they're more grown up men,
So you had little grown ass men trying to hit on you at 15, 16. That's disgusting.
Yeah.
And gross.
So even then, all they wanted was one thing, and I was in love with that. So I figured that at the age of 17, I got my first girlfriend.
At how old? 17?
17.
Okay, so you were 17 when you first started dating women?
Yeah.
Okay, and that's when you knew? Now, how old were you think when your family knew? You think your family always had is she not? Do you think
I think they questioned it.
Did you? Who did you think questioned it in your family?
My brother's the one that said, "Oh, you're lesbian."
Really? How old were you when your brother started Hold on. How old were you when your brother started questioning that you were a lesbian?
I want to say I was 16, 17.
16, 17. He brought it to your attention, hey.
No, he brought it up to my mom's attention. Trying to get in trouble.
Is that true, Frankie? Rude. So he brought it up to your mom's attention.
And said, "Mom, he says a lesbian." And then,
so instead of being "Yo, sister, let me talk to you real quick. You like girls?" No, he told you on your mom.
Yeah.
He didn't know how your mom was gonna take it. That's rude.
So my mom came and talked to me "Don't worry, whatever you are."
I love your mom.
I think in a sense that my mom did know, but obviously she's just gonna let me out.
Right.
Let me be out whenever I wanted to.
Right. Whenever you felt ready. By the way, I really want your mom's something weird.
Yeah.
I love that. My first time ever trying mole, her mom.
She makes it so sweet.
Oh my god, it wasn't even too sweet. It was just delicious, perfection, just.
But he's the one that put me out. And then.
How did you feel when that happened?
I was crying. I was panicking. I didn't know.
But did you know you were a lesbian when he called you out for being a lesbian?
Yes, I knew it, but I didn't want to make it seem like I was, and nothing was wrong with that. You know what I mean?
Right. You weren't ready yet. You weren't ready to be bombarded. So did you tell Frankie anything?
I just started crying to my mom, and after that was just never brought again.
Never brought up again. No. How old were you when it was brought up again?
Well, I kind of started telling my mom.
Okay. Kind of prepared for her mentally.
17, 18.
Okay.
And then that's when I had my first girlfriend, and then I always introduced my, my partner.
So wait a minute. So you were 17, 18. So you knew already that you were lesbian. That's when you actually started exploring your sexuality at 17. What about your dad? Because he's a Mexican man. He's a Mexican man.
So this is what happened with my dad. My dad one time he had went grocery shopping, and then I came out and helped him. Another time.
How old were you?
I was 18.
Okay.
So that time I was helping him carrying the groceries, and for some reason my pants are always falling. So he's like, "Oh, pick up your pants." He's like, "Pick up your pants. You look like a guy." And I was offended, and I started crying. He's like, "And don't you think I didn't see you kissing that girl over there in the park? What were you doing kissing a girl?" I was like, "Oh my god."
How old were you when this happened?
Like 17. Like I was 17.
You were kissing your first girlfriend at the park?
At a park, and my dad seen me with a girl. Yeah.
This is why you guys can't lie. You guys can't keep anything from your parents. Listen, the truth will always come out.
For real.
So what did you do? What did you tell? You just started crying?
Yeah, and then I told my dad. I said, I spoke to my dad.
How old were you when you spoke with him?
After you
stopped crying that night. After you stopped crying.
No. Well, it was during. So I was like, I was like, you did what you did with your life, and nobody judged you, or you already did your life. Let me do my mistakes, So he's like, oh wow, the neighbor's gonna think, and I said, oh yeah, the neighbors are paying like your bills. Are they helping you out? He's like, no, but what are they gonna think? I'm like, that if it's about the neighbors, like, come on, it can't be just because of the neighbors, It has to be something more than just what are the neighbors gonna think.
Yeah, I think that was an excuse for himself. You as his daughter. Wow.
Yeah, so I ran away that same day. I ran away to my aunt's house, which is my mom's sister. And then my aunt asked me what's wrong, and I was like, oh, like this is what's going on. She's like, oh, you can stay here. And then my mom came the same night, a few minutes.
Everything one night.
Yeah.
Mexican family.
My mom came up and she's like, you can't leave the house. She's like, as long as I'm here living on this earth, you're gonna live in my house, like whether anybody likes it or not.
Right.
So my mom's always been understanding. Like she's always been like the greatest.
Nobody messes with her babies.
No, and that was that,
Mm-hmm.
But my dad didn't took it. Like after that, now me and my dad have a good relationship. I'll bring my girlfriends around,
He knows.
Because my mom,
I think your mom also probably talked to him and gave him, the Spanish women psychology on Spanish men that we do, that we have to make them understand the point of views from a different perspective, and that's pretty much how it works. Like I want to say.
Yeah, so I mean, now we have, I want to say, like a good to great relationship.
Good, I'm glad.
It's a good relationship.
So it was good. Was it hard though being different growing up? Was it hard being a whole lesbian? No.
The friends that I always used to have, they were all gay. I used to always go to gay clubs.
I've always had a lot of gay friends too.
Yeah, so we always, it'd be the coolest crowd in the like the 17 when I was 17, 18, 19.
Right.
Like those were like.
It was good too because you got to, I think, hang around with a lot of your same people. I think it's much harder on teenagers that are 16, 17 that don't have a gay community in their city.
Oh yeah. We were openly gay here in West Palm.
Yeah.
Like everybody that used to.
I think it's a lot harder when you're like a lesbian or a gay guy in Nashville, Tennessee in like 1993. You know what I mean? I don't think it's more secluded, more.
Yeah. So I mean, at that time I was going out to parties all the time. Like
you had your support system with your friends.
Yeah.
And thankfully, your mom accepted you regardless, and your dad too also came around.
So how long did it take for me? It was just about like learning to live with that person and kind of accepting their not wants. If he didn't want this, okay, so I have to.
Yeah, he wanted obviously
if you walk this way, I'm gonna try to walk this way. But at the end of it all, everything just kind of
worked out.
Yeah.
You guys kind of stayed out of each other's way a little bit for a couple months, and then.
And I used to take breaks from living with my parents because I used to like move and stuff with girls, so.
She would move in with her girlfriend and then come back home and it didn't work out. And... Okay.
But I've only been in two. I want to say I've dated here and there. I did what I needed to do on my age, in my younger age, and now there's only been 3 girls that I've been with like since I came out 17. Mm-hmm. 3 girls, and each girl. Well, the first girl was 3 years, the second girl was 3 years, and then I'm currently with my partner, and it's gonna be just 2 years with her.
What is it? Her fiance.
My fiance. So it's been with her. It's been 2 years, and we still continue to. But I've only had 3 real relationships. Like
good.
And with the other 2, I also live with them. And,
that's good.
Yeah. So it's always been a blessing.
Boys never even a thought.
Never.
Not even with the
I'm the boy of the relationship.
Okay. You're what is it called? With the boy.
The stud.
The stud. You're the stud.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
So that's the sexuality part of my life. And my sister always supported me. My brother.
They never had an issue. Your brother and your sister. You always gotten along with them.
Never.
Okay.
So, yeah, so my sexuality was never, ever an issue for me.
Thankfully.
That's
awesome. I'm so happy you didn't have that trauma.
Oh, thank God.